Hey, it's been a while. This is my 1980 Buick Regal Turbo Sport Coupe. They made this from 1978 to 1983 with the 4-barrel carburetor draw-through turbo, meaning the fuel air mixture from the carburetor gets mixed, goes into the intake impeller of the turbocharger's compressor, and of course the turbo drives it. The turbine section, which is driven by exhaust, drives this compressor. Basically, it's an exhaust-driven supercharger. Fuel air mixture goes into the turbo's compressor, gets compressed with the air, and gets shoved into the intake manifold to improve combustion, increase compression, and make this engine run a lot better. Now, from the factory, it had a much smaller turbocharger. It had a turbine housing that was about an 81 AR and a compressor which is really small, like a 50 AR. Well, I took my original turbocharger from my 1987 Turbo T Limited, because I put a much larger turbo on my 87. I took the original AR60 Garrett from this 87 and fabricated it to fit my 1980. So if you look at this turbocharger carefully, you'll notice it's the AR60 Garrett that they put in the 87 Turbo Ts and Grand Nationals. And I welded the internal wastegate actuator shut, so therefore I could run an external wastegate which controls the more boost accurately. And hey, it looks cool too. External wastegate. It's really direct. Goes right there to manifold pressure. Manifold pressure opens the wastegate, overrides the spring, and the spring is set at a certain pressure, which will allow the turbo to run at a certain pressure. Like say your wastegate spring is 10 pounds. Well, when 10 pounds of boost happens, it pressurizes this wastegate to open, and the excess dumps out of this straight tube here, so you get this nice straight pipe sound when you reach the boost that it's set at. I've also converted this to a different style 4-barrel carburetor, because the original was a Rochester Quadrajet, and I like the way the Holley fuel bowls, Holley style fuel bowls, adjust better, and they got sight glasses, so I can more finely adjust the fuel air mixture on this engine, which fuel mixture is very important on a turbocharged engine. And you know, I did a little bit of work, but if you were to look at it kind of quickly, it looks like a pretty original draw-through turbo carbureted Buick V6, but I just did a couple touches to it to improve it, because the 87's turbo was better. I used the 87 for the draw-through and took the AR50 turbo that was original, that was really slow to respond. I took that turbocharger and kind of put it on a shelf. So the original turbo, you know, I still have it. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's a classic turbo, so, you know, I keep it. But, you know, I got the new and improved version of the draw-through turbo setup. I've also got a different radiator, nice performance radiator, aluminum with electric fan. So I just did some upgraded touches to it. I put my 87 Turbo T Limited Buick wheels on the 80 Sport Coupe. New strong high temp axles, high performance, high strength axles with a auburn gear locker and 3.73 to 1 gears in the rear end, so it's much more responsive. It's got a side pipe exhaust instead of the original behind the axle exhaust. It's less curves, less bends, and more response, so it's an improvement. I've also got a glass pack instead of the original muffler, so the exhaust goes quite freely through this setup. All right, we're going to take this thing for a little drive since it's been a while, so more to follow.